Koppel, host of the Time for Coffee podcast, where you get first-hand career advice into the jobs and industries that interest you the most. And before we start today's show, I have a quick favor to ask you. If you haven't already, I'd be incredibly grateful if you give us a rating and a review on iTunes. And if you're like me, you need to do it now because you'll forget later and because it's the best way to help others who may be in search of career advice to find this free resource. So press pause if you haven't done it and do it right now. I'll wait. Thanks so much and enjoy today's show. Hey there, Java Junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Kelsey Hess. Could you share a time in your professional life, Kelsey, when you struggled? I try to ask all of my guests this because I just think it's so important for our young listeners to know that we all have our ups and downs, and oftentimes the downs are where the greatest learning and growth happens. So if you could share a time, and most importantly, how you persevered, and if there was a lesson that you learned in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was that transitionary period between jobs. So I worked in engineering for 2.5 years. I ended up leaving that company because my husband kind of got a job transfer and I didn't love it. It was slightly soul sucking, working at a desk all day. And I was like, you know what, I'll find something else wherever we go. I have a good degree. I graduated from a great college. Like I will find something. So I left that job and we moved to Salt Lake City. And I started applying for jobs, putting out my resume, looking for openings, all of that good stuff. After about 6 months of multiple interviews with, frankly, mostly men, like older men, I quickly realized, like, I don't know if this city is the right market for a young female engineer, and especially environmental engineering. Like they're very industry heavy in Utah, which is awesome, but they just don't have a lot of great environmental positions open. At least they didn't when I was there. So, 6 months of kind of just like putting out your resume, applying to multiple jobs a day, going to interviews, not getting the job, like wondering what you did wrong, like, kind of questioning your entire career path of going to a good college and getting a good degree. And I still can't find a job. Like, I think that was really hard on me as kind of a high achiever and wanting to be independent and be able to like pay my own bills and stuff like that. I was all of a sudden relying on my husband's salary. And I think that was a big hit to my ego. So, I just, in that time, I was like, maybe I should just do some random stuff. Maybe I don't actually want to do engineering. And I think I knew that a little bit in my heart of like, I don't know if I actually want to do this, but I kept trying because I spent 5 years in school paying for this degree. I need to do this. And I think I finally just surrendered and I let that go. And I was like, you know what? I can do other things. I can get other skills. Let me just kind of like figure out what else is out there. So I drove Uber. I was like I feel like I was one of the first female Uber drivers because that was really early on, and people were always surprised a woman was picking them up, like a young woman was picking them up. So that was great though. It was a great way to learn a new city. I waitressed at at a restaurant near a ski resort. I did real estate photography. I did newborn photography in hospitals. And, it all sounds really mishmash and random, but I learned so many great social skills in all of those jobs that have really taken me very far.
So no regrets.
No regrets. It was a weird time, I'll be honest with you. I was like, what am I doing with my life? But I think, after about 1.5 years of that kind of thing, I I was still listening to health podcasts. I was still really interested, was still learning. And I was like, I should just see what kind of career I can make out of this. Like, what can I do in this space? I learn about it all the time. And so I started researching, and I found a couple of online certifications where you could get a nutrition certification and have your own health coaching or nutrition coaching practice. And so I battled with it back and forth for a while, and I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to jump in and do it and drop everything else. So I got a certification, I went through a program, and then I started my own nutrition coaching business, and kind of the rest I told you is history. But I'm really, that time was painful for me because, like I said, I had spent so much time and money in school studying a specific thing, and I thought I was going to be doing that. And I just had a come to Jesus moment where I was like, I don't like this. I don't really love this career. Why am I continuing to try to get back into it? Let me see what I actually do love and I actually am passionate about. And so I'm really grateful that I listened to my gut instincts after a while. I battled them for a long time, and I'm grateful that I had that space to figure out what it was that I really wanted to do.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Kelsey. It's almost as if the universe was helping you out, right?
Yes.
Because if you had gotten one of those engineering jobs, you might still be doing that.
You're so right. And I think it's so cliche to say everything happens for a reason. I kind of hate that term, but it is sort of true. Like, if you're in the middle of something really painful and you don't know what you're doing, just believe that it's going to turn out okay, and trust yourself that you're going to figure it out. And I think if you can trust yourself and trust your gut instincts, for the most part, you're going to come out better for it, and you're going to really love what you get into after that.
Trust your gut in more ways than one.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to this latest episode of T4C. And if you're interested in learning more about my coaching services for confused college students and recent grads, feel free to check out the Time for Coffee website under the coaching tab at time4coffee.org or text me at 202-236-5712. That's 202-236-5712.